took the money, didn't you?
It's real complicated.
We're talking about embezzlement here.
You guys know how many properties I sold last quarter? 23 properties.
Please tell security
Me!
that Mr. Point
By myself, for you, man!
Are you an addict, Daryl?
You don't even know you got a problem.
I just want to make sure I understand the deal as far as the confidentiality aspect is concerned.
21-day program which begins here in detox. I'll examine you, see what chemicals you've been using, prescribe medication.
Oh, great. Is that what I'm going to look like tomorrow?
Sleeping alone starts to get you down. Sometimes. I just know how tough it can be to have to sleep alone.
I'll bet you do.
I want you out of here.
Fine! You want me out of here? I'm out of here! I'm gone!
Welcome to day 8 of Michael Keaton Month, where I'll be reviewing all the movies that Michael Keaton has appeared in. And today we take a dramatic departure, literally, from the movies that Michael Keaton had really done prior to this movie that we're going to be talking about today, which is Clean and Sober. A very gritty and somber drama movie. Stars Michael Keaton as a character named Daryl Pointer, and he's a real estate agent who squanders a lot of his company's money on drugs, alcohol, and the stock market. So he's in deep shit, basically, and the movie opens with him in bed with a woman. You know, they're doing cocaine, and she doesn't wake up, and so he calls the ambulance. They take her away. We don't know if she lives or dies, and you know, he's scared, so he goes into hiding, basically, so that the police don't get him for this woman, and the fact that they were taking drugs and all this money that he has lost for his company. They call him up literally just as he's about to find out the woman is not waking up. He gets the call that they say, "Where's this money? It's all gone from your account." And he's like, "I'll sort it out. It's just this is just a minor problem. He kind of brushes it under the carpet, and he hides in a drug rehabilitation clinic, which is somewhere that you can go for free, and join the 30-day sobriety program. So he does that, and he thinks to himself, right, I'm gonna act like I'm a drug addict, and they're gonna buy it, and I'm gonna be safe here for lie low for 30 days. So the movie is us seeing his 30 days, and obviously the ironic thing is that he is a drug addict, he is an alcoholic, but he doesn't know that, even though he's in a rehab clinic, and he thinks he's playing them all, he thinks he's got it all figured out, but he really hasn't. So the movie kind of just shows his journey to realization and recovery and redemption in a way. The guy who runs the clinic is a former drug addict himself, so he really takes none of Keaton's shit in the movie, and he's played by a not so famous at this point Morgan Freeman, who I thought was brilliant in the movie. I thought he was really subtle, didn't overdo it. Does it match up with any of his other great performances? Not really, but I thought he was really good in the movie. Kathy Baker, she plays a character called Charlie, who's also in the rehab clinic. She is with someone, but she's not happy with that person, and they have a very troubled relationship. Daryl kind of takes a liking to Charlie, and he wants to kind of be with her and be with someone, and kind of this is when he's starting to realize he has a problem, and that they can help each other through this, and that she doesn't need this guy who makes her really unhappy, and he kind of gets involved in that throughout the movie. We have Emmett Walsh, legendary actor, playing Richard, who is an older guy who is he's a recovered addict, and he sponsors Daryl and helps him through some things, and it's just played a really pivotal role in the film. I think we see him earlier on in the film before we're formally introduced to his character, giving this speech, and we can tell that he's an addict from the speech, but it's just kind of dropped in there, and we're not quite sure why is that there. And then at the end of the movie we realize what it was. I thought that was really cool. But for me, really, Michael Keaton just absolutely just blows away everyone else in this movie. He's just fantastic, and it's his first real, true, totally 100% dramatic role, and it just proved that he could pull it off, and it was brilliant. That's what I've always said. I think some of the best dramatic actors started out in comedy. If you can do comedy, then you can do drama, in my opinion, and he did it fantastically well in this. I mean, just the energy that he has and brings to the role, and just the subtler things as well, I thought were brilliant. Everything that's going on behind his eyes, which I think he's always been fantastic at doing and pulling off and making me believe in and buying the character. His desperation at times, as this addict, and this awesome scene where he's just letting loose to Morgan Freeman's character called Craig, and he's just like screaming at him, saying, "I'm gonna leave this clinic and fuck you" and all this, and he's like he's spewing venom, you know, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I just can't think of many actors who could pull off a scene like that, you know, where you're shouting and you're flipping out and stuff, and not make it seem over the top or, you know, not realistic. It is a very fine line to balance on, I think, and he just walked right across it, in my opinion. Loved it. It's a very depressing film though, and that is where a lot of its criticism came from. You know, it's not really a movie that you kind of like want to go out and see on the weekend. You know, it's just a very kind of bleak film. You know, and it came out, I forgot to say, it came out on August 10th, 1988. And the budget was $12 million, and they made back just $8.5 million. So they lost money on this movie, unfortunately. It's probably another reason why, you know, it maybe didn't get the recognition it deserved. I'm not sure. I mean, money is almost everything in Hollywood. So I'm sure that had a big reason, a big factor into the reasoning for, you know, not including him in what I think he should have been included in, and that was a nomination for Best Actor in the what would be the 1989 Academy Awards. I mean, I'm sure whoever won the Best Actor award, or people who were nominated in 1989, did fantastic jobs, but I think he should have had a nomination because he was just so good in the movie. He did win a National Society of Film Critics Award for Best Actor for his performances in Clean and Sober and Beetlejuice, but I think he should have got more recognition for it, in my opinion, because it was just stand out. But I guess maybe because some of the things were so subtle, you know, maybe, I don't know. It's just, to me, it is one of the best kind of you know, examples of great acting. So, tagline was 30 remarkable days in the life of an ordinary man. Don't really agree with that, really, because he's not quite an ordinary man, but this movie doesn't need taglines, in my opinion. But again, that's probably why it didn't do so well. There's no hook there, you know. But you know, it wasn't a complete flop. Well, saying that, they lost, you know, essentially what $3.5 million. That is a huge that is a huge flop. What am I saying? I don't know. I just feel like yeah, this movie is underappreciated, underrated, and it's brilliant. I thought Kathy Baker was good. Again, Emmett Walsh was fantastic, and there's also a young Tate Donovan in this movie, but Keaton's just awesome. Another great scene where he leaves the clinic one night, he goes back to his office, he's trying to find something to kind of get this whole money that he squandered, you know, to try and fix it somehow, and he's searching through all his files, and then he just kind of sits down and he picks up the phone and he calls his parents, and he's like saying, you know, after some kind of almost cringeworthy small talk, you know, because you know what's coming, he asks them for money, and he's like, you know, I just need something, you know, for, you know, there's been a problem with the bank, I just need something for now, $30,000, and then he starts explaining if they can kind of do something with the mortgage and kind of, you know, kind of half sell their house, you know, and you're just like, oh my god, and then there's this bit where he says, Mum, why are you crying? And just that tiny little sentence. It's like all it takes to kind of, I don't know, reach out with the screen and just kind of like touch your heart a little bit and make you feel just terrible for him and for his parents. And, you know, he could have overdone it and started crying, but he didn't. It was just that kind of, that really just bottom of the barrel, just absolute rock bottom. Just, you know, Mom, why are you crying? Just desperation. You know, I thought it was a brilliant movie, and he just was awesome. The movie ends, you know, don't spoil anything, but he makes it 30 days sober, and he gives a speech at the end in the exact same place, the podium where Richard was giving the speech earlier on in the film that kind of was just dropped into the movie, and he says, you know, I'm an alcoholic and I'm a drug addict, and it's just, yeah, he plays it so well. Like, he gets kind of emotional, but he doesn't fully give into it, and that's again what I think is so great about it. Just the master of subtlety, in my opinion. I'm definitely at risk of being too gushy in this review, but I think it's a great movie. It's not one I'm going to watch many more times, but I'm definitely going to watch it, you know, more. It's just, yeah, you have to kind of be in the right mood for it. It's a very bleak, depressing movie, but there's some hope to it, I think, you know, and there's some kind of lesson to be learned and a journey to be seen, I think. Brilliant, brilliant movie. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join me tomorrow, where the next review will be completely different, a lot more lighter in tone, and you can look forward to that tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.
Michael Keaton does a very good. Here's a guy who is, you know, Mr. Jolly in most of his films. From the first moment that we see him in bed, hungover, and we've seen Michael Fox try and play a drug addict in Bright Lights, Big City, not as well. Michael Keaton, an excellent job in this role.
Michael Keaton and everybody else in the movie too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of good performances.
I think
making
very
it,
impressive.
As far as this subject is concerned, maybe the best movie I've seen on it.
Yeah, old boy, big 307 a week. Boy, you gotta allocate that motherfucker, don't you?